What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla Channel, the place where black men can express themselves freely. Straight up, no chaser. It's been a while, man, since I've been on the air. I had to go tend to some business. In fact, one of my best friends, man, he turned 50 this weekend. So him and his wife flew into Houston. And then another one of my good partners and his wife live in the Houston area. So we all just kicked it, you know what I'm saying? And so it was a celebration, man, of my boy. And so I had to back up off the mic right fast and go pay homage to my partner, man. So I want to wish my brother, man, Carly Roots, a happy birthday. I know he's not listening or watching, but still, I'm going to give him a shout out on principle. So let me give that brother a fanfare. Yeah, that's my homeboy. So before I get started, like I always do, I'd like to give a shout out to all of my members. I want to give a shout out to the nameless protagonist, Black Pill Ned Stark, Idris Reese, Odd Collard, Roderick Jackson, Dr. Tiason Johnson, Damon Harris, Brian Williams, Camp Lowe, Nicholas Loban, Issa Abdul Sahir, I see you out there in the chat, Kalan Jakala, Leroy Honeycutt, Sherrod Martin, Ricky Dawson, Brother Love, Black Dog, Yenny U, Cedric Bowman, True 7360, BK Born Shaheed, James Washington, Hostile Adep, Seven Coast Dojo, Ronan Martin, Shop Talk Live, W Pierre One, Rogish the Billmonger, I Care, Force Windu, Lady Miss Thing Green, BGS Ibmore, and Marvin Battle Jr. Thank you all for being members of the Green Gorilla channel. I want to give y'all a shout out. Thank you so much. Yes, I want to thank them for being members of the channel, the Green Gorilla channel. And I want to give you some information on how you too can become a member of the Green Gorilla channel.
What's good, everybody? I'm the G with a PhD, and you're tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel, the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up, no chaser. Today, I want to introduce you to my new membership program that consists of 5 levels where you can invest in the Green Gorilla channel on a monthly basis and receive level-specific perks. Memberships are special because they improve the quality of the content of the channel and will help me to be able to keep the channel going. Now, to participate in the Green Gorilla channel membership program, all you have to do is hit the join button, which is located right next to the subscribe button on my channel page. Now, for all of my subscribers who decide not to participate in my membership program, nothing will change. The content will keep coming the way it always has. Thanks for watching, and be careful out here, people. Bless.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You too can become a member of the Green Gorilla channel, and I just told you how. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Well, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. But, you know, any help, any donation that you can make goes a long way into improving the quality of the content of the Green Gorilla channel. But today what we want to do, like the title of the video asserts, we want to have a conversation about 6 principal purveyors of anti-black misandry. Now, what pray tell, might you say that is? I'm interested in seeing what you all think. It's not a lot of people here right now, but we got enough people. Who do you think are the 6 principal purveyors of anti-black misandry? If I had to ask the question. I see you, Damon Harris. I see you, Moada Chaguka. I see you, Mr. Lou Meth, Cynical Optimist, Isa Abdul's out here. I see y'all out there. Who do you think are the 6 principal purveyors? Oh, I want to give a shout out to T Fitness U. Thank you so much for the donation, my brother. Appreciate that. Really do. Appreciate that. Who do you think are the 6 principal purveyors of anti-black misandry? What do you think it is? Who do you think's purveying anti-black misandry? Primarily. Walt Diddy, I hear you, Walt Diddy. Walt Diddy says, peace, GG. He says Viacom, number 1. Well, Viacom may have something to do with it. Viacom may have something to do with it. So let me just share. I think Walt Diddy has got the right train of thought here. I think he has the right train of thought. So let me share this graphic, right? You see that, right? And I'm going to put it on the full screen just so you can see it. The 6 principal purveyors of anti-black misandry just so happen to be the 6 major media companies that exist not only in the US, but throughout an entirety. Well, I can't say the entirety, but they exist in other countries as well. They have an impact on the Western world, these 6 companies. I'm talking about Comcast, News Corp, Disney, Viacom, Time Warner, and CBS. Now, if you don't know, these 6 companies, they control the lion's share of the media that you consume. And when is the last time you consumed some media that had positive messages and imagery about black men? When's the last time? When's the last time that you've seen imagery and iconography and stories and messaging about black men, particularly straight black men, that's been positive? When's the last time you've seen it? Because recently, the media that I've been watching, whether it be a TV show, like for example, Lovecraft Country, whether it be a TV show like The Boys, whether it be a movie, and I haven't really watched any movies lately. I haven't watched a lot of movies lately. Okay, I'll admit that. But even in the movies, you'd be hard pressed to find imagery and iconography that speaks well about men, particularly black men. Okay, so but who controls the media? Well, we already know who controls the media. 6 companies. And look, right now, I just want to do an overview. What I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to talk about each one of these 6 companies. I can't do it all today because it would take too much time. I'll be doing this forever. And I don't have that much time to spend doing that. But what I'm going to do is talk about each company, the companies that are subsidiaries of these 6 companies, and I'm going to talk about the kind of television programming that you're seeing on these, these companies' media, and how derogatory it is and how deprecating it is to the imagery and the iconography of black men. It's absolutely horrendous the way that we're portrayed. And it needs to stop. And somebody has to talk to these people, to petition them, to write to them, to do something. Because ultimately, all we get is the same kind of hackneyed, trite, rehashed images that are negative in relation to black men. And something has got to change. Something has to be brought to the awareness of the people who own these companies and the content providers for these companies. Because everybody else is having a stab at having content and having their demographic portrayed positively and humanistically within the confines and the domain of not just film, not just television, but also print media and news shows and talk time television shows. Where do you see anywhere in the major media where there's a group of black men or men who sit around and they talk about what's going on in the culture? And it's largely consisting of black men. Where do you see that? Now, one might say, okay, well, what you do have is you have podcasts. But these podcasts, they're not produced, they're not developed by the major 6 companies. Not a lot of money is being thrust and thrown into their projects, like the Joe Budden podcast, the one with Gilly the Kid and his brother, Drink Champs with Nori. These are not media supported by the big 6 companies. But you might have, like, for example, what's the thing that Charlamagne the God that put out, the Breakfast Club. You might have that. But there's not a lot. And even when you do have men, what they end up doing is they end up pushing the narrative, spoon-fed them by these companies, and overwhelmingly and prevailingly what you get is the message that somehow black men are patriarchal, they're sexist, they're homophobic, and they want to be like white men. So, I mean, the overwhelming narrative you get, the one you receive, is that black men are aiming, they're aspiring to be just like white men are. Uh, it is what it is. So, black men want to be like white men. Now, let me give a shout out to Walt Diddy. Thank you so much, sir, for providing the donation to the channel. Appreciate that. So, let me just say this, okay? You don't get a lot of positive media about black men. And that has consequences, okay? It has consequences because if you look at the social science on the matter, you will find that the way the media presents us, black men and boys in American society, it affects our outcomes. It affects our outcomes in this world, in American society specifically. Now, there's a lot of things that affect or impact black men's lives. I mean, there's a terrible history of slavery and Jim Crow. There are material conditions that exist within the context of the United States, and they play a role in how we fare. There's politics. There's cultural norms. All of these factors have an impact and they influence how we fare in the context of the United States society. Okay? But there are some ways that the social, economic, and symbolic place of African American men and boys is recreated through the media every day. And it's reinforced every day. These symbols, right, that are reinforced and recreated every day, they affect people's perceptions. They shape their attitudes. And they create obstacles and hurdles to our advancement. Because the iconography, the imagery, the public perception, the attitudes are shaped by the media. Everybody knows this. This is not a secret. This is something that has been known for quite a bit of time. You show somebody an image over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, it becomes part of their belief system. Their psyche, their unconscious mind absorbs the images and they play them over and over and over again in their minds. Even outside of the context of the waking consciousness, right? So these images create barriers for us. And the mass media has significant power to shape popular ideas and attitudes. We know this. We know this. So the problem, we know that there is a link between the terrible and the dismal media portrayals of black men and the lowered life chances of black males. We know it. We know it. And there's several ways that this occurs. And there's a lot of research to demonstrate this. And I'll be providing some of this research in the description of this video. But one of the things that you see is that there's underrepresentation. But let me back up for a minute before I even get into underrepresentation. You must understand that the overall representation or the presentation of black men in the media is distorted. It's distorted. It's not a facsimile of reality, what you see in the media. It's just not. So you might look at individual studies and you might look at research that only look at like one kind of genre at a time. Westerns, science fiction, fantasy, a whole host, right? Cop shows, TV sitcoms, right? Magazine advertising, video games, you name it, man. Whatever kind of media, talk television or news television, right? There's so many different forms of media, comic books, movies. You know what I mean? There's so many different forms of media, right? But what you get is, first of all, you get underrepresentation. How many black people do you see in video games? I know a lot of y'all are gamers. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are gamers. How many black people do you see in video games? And I'm not talking about Grand Theft Auto, where you got two characters who basically, take you into the dregs of the urban environment. That's not a positive portrayal or representation of black men in the context of a video game. Typically, if you do see black men in a video game, it's either a war video game where they got some brute who's a gunner or something like that in the military, or you see some goons, some thugs. You see some thugs. So we're talking about video games. We're talking about experts who come in and weigh in on situations and offer their perspectives on social issues. We don't, when it comes to commercials, you don't see a lot of black men using computers. You don't see them buying, or you don't see them utilizing or using luxury items in print media or print advertisement. And today, you don't even see black men as relatable characters with well-developed personalities and personal lives. Like, for example, as fathers anymore in fiction shows and in films. When's the last time you saw a married black man in a TV show? When's the last time you saw a married black man in a functional relationship in the context of a TV show? I mean, if you go back in time, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go back to The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When was that out? 96? Somewhere around there. You got Everybody Hates Chris. He had, a TV show where the parents were married and the relationship was intact. You had My Wife and Kids with Damon Wayans and Tisha Campbell. You had the Jeffersons back in the day. That's old school right there. You had the Jeffersons. You had what else, man? You had Family Matters. Like, I think somebody in the chat was just talking about Urkel and how he was really, really, kind of negatively portrayed. But at least you had, the Winslows. At least you had them. They were married. Even in, back in the day, Good Times. Even Florida and James were married. You had the Bernie Mac show. You had Bernie and Wanda. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even on the Moesha show, you had a married couple, but he supposedly screwed it up by lying about Ray J, not being his son when he actually was his son. But you don't see any positive images of black men anymore as fathers in married relationships. What's the show today? Blackish, okay. He said the Cosby Show. Blackish? Man, I haven't even seen Blackish. Benson, damn, you going way back. Benson? The Proud Family? But that's look, I'm talking about today. Now Blackish is one. I have to say, Blackish. That's one. I had to give Nicholas Fuller some some I gotta eat crow a little bit. But what else besides Blackish? Today, I'm talking about 2020. 2020. 2020. So anyway, man, I don't want to make this long. I'm not gonna be here for 2 hours tonight. I'm gonna be here for an hour and 15 minutes at the most, and then I'm out of here. Because I just, So you got underrepresentation. Then you got negative associations, right? So, and these negative associations tend to be overemphasized. For example, you get criminality, you got unemployment, you got poverty, gang activity, black men hanging on street corners, right? Even though we know for a fact that the true face of poverty in America is not black people on a corner, but it's the one that's projected to the world. Most of the people who are poor in America are white people who live in trailer parks or who live in Appalachia, in mountain regions. But we don't talk about that. Those images aren't shown in the same way that the images of black men are shown and portrayed to the world. Right? So you have limited positive associations. If you do get positive associations, it's going to be limited to sports, some sort of physical accomplishment, some sort of entertainment field like musicality. And I mean, those are cool. I mean, that's okay. All right. And it's inspirational. But I mean, black men are more than just rappers, singers, beat makers, and football players and basketball players. Our experience is much wider than that, and richer and more substantive than that. So the question becomes, why are these the only images or the predominant positive images that black men are associated with in the media? Why? And also, there's always the problem discussion when it comes to black men. And you don't have very many experts who are able to come and weigh in at all. And people don't ever talk about what's going on in our lives with context, outside of the context of us lacking some sort of moral character. We're always flawed. And the only thing I hate to see is that other black men perpetuate and rehash these same black images that the media gives us back at each other. I hate to see that. Because if our conceptualization of ourselves is predicated upon what the media gives us, we're in big trouble. We need to be developing our own images and our own iconography. If we don't do that, we're dead. We're dead. And I don't know, man. To be perfectly honest, I don't think it's possible for people to pull back from the media at this point. We are slaves to media. How much TV do y'all watch every week? How much television do you watch a week? The average person in America, I mean, just average. The average TV time in America, 3 hours, 19 minutes a day. So 3 hours a day. And men watch more TV than women do. Men watch more TV than women do. Although you probably would think otherwise. 3 hours a day watching TV. But what are you absorbing when you're watching that television? What are you absorbing? What kind of images are you receiving? You know what's funny about this? And look, all I can say is everybody's being given an opportunity to have an impact on the media except for us. And even when we do have the opportunity to send or to put together media, we continue the tropes and the narratives developed by others. Like recently, it came to my attention that one of the women who was a member of Black Lives Matter, she just signed a deal with Warner Brothers. So let me stop this screen and go to another screen. Can you imagine that? And look, I'm not trying to hate. I'm just saying. This woman, basically her name is Patrice Cullors. Now we already know what Black Lives Matter is about. The way I feel about Black Lives Matter, I would never have had a problem with it if they wouldn't have come in and then tried to use feminist talking points over the bodies of dead black men. I would never have done that unless they did that. I would have been like, you can talk about whatever you want to. More power to you and your movement. You know, hey, you need to have a voice because I'm a Democrat, not as in terms of political parties or anything like that. I've always been independent, and I've always been an independent thinker. But in relation to a theory that I adhere to, I believe in democracy. That's what I meant to say. I believe in democracy. Anyone should be able to say what they have to say, to speak their truth, to make an argument, to make their case, and then that argument and that viewpoint should be interpolated into a process of deliberation before a decision-making process. That's how I perceive democracy. So you get in the public sphere a cornucopia, a variety of different voices that are able to have an impact on decision making. But black male voices are being left out of the equation. They're being left out. This is why Cube is so important and what he did. And this is what Dr. Ron O'Neal is talking about when he talks about black male independence. Like, who can tell a black man what he can and what he cannot do, what he can think, who he can vote for, who he can see? Like, how do you determine in your mind that this man can't make these moves? When did it ever become fashionable to tell black men what they could and couldn't do politically? It's ridiculous. And because you only got 6 companies, they're able to spin the narrative in any direction that they desire. And trust me, these 6 companies are major conglomerates. These aren't small companies. These are billion-dollar companies. And I already tried to tell you about the 5 filters of the media. I've told you about it already. I tried to give you an understanding of what the 5 filters of mass media are. I tried to give you some insight into that. So the first thing you got as it pertains to the 5 filters of the media is you got ownership. Who owns the media? What is their end game? They want money. So they push what they think is going to make money. They don't want to be critical. They're not trying to have critical journalism. They're trying to do what they think is going to make cash. And bashing black men has always been big business. It's big business because everybody loves to hate us. Everybody loves to disparage us. Everybody loves to continue to rehash these negative concepts and ideals and iconography about black men. They love it. They absorb it. They eat it up. Also, big media companies are really there to sell advertising. That's what they're really there for. you know. And then you got like this media elite, and they manage the programming. They manage the programming. People in the government, big corporations, institutions, they know how to play the media game. They know how to influence the news. They know how to feed media scoops. They know how to develop official accounts. They know they're going to determine who the experts are. They got this whole thing already fixed. Which is surprising though, because you got to look at it like this. First of all, look, infantry skill says what's the solution? First, you have to be able to identify the problem before you can develop a solution. The solution is we have to be on a publicity campaign of our own to tell the truth about what's going on with black men and to show or to counter the narrative, to counter this negative stereotypes. It's time for that. It's the time is now. And black men in the manosphere ought to be at the head of that movement. We ought to be writing the big six and telling them, where's our Dr. Tiasan Johnson on these panels when it comes to issues related to black male death? Why is he not there? Why is he not sitting on these panels? Why is Dr. Tommy Curry not sitting on the panels? These are experts in these areas as it pertains to black men. Why are they not there? Why do we have Brittany Cooper? Why is her ass? Why is she an expert on black death when primarily black men are the ones being killed? How is it that three lesbian black women can be at the forefront of a movement that's primarily one that black men experience? I would like to understand it because I'm confused about it. How is it possible that you could take black men being subjected to extrajudicial killing by police officers and then turn around and flip the script and say, well, black women aren't paid attention to, we're not visible, we need to talk about black women and how they're treated by the police too. In other words, you step over the 250 black male bodies in order to account for the 9 to 15 black female bodies, or maybe the one trans person that gets killed from police violence in the context of an entire year. So you're going to step over all our bodies to get on the TV and then to deprecate us. Infantry skills, man. I'm about to kick you off of here, man. Because I already told you what the fuck the solution was. And if you don't like listening to the channel, why don't you get the fuck on, man? You're not needed here. That's what I'm telling you. And if you got something to say, man, get on here, man, and say something. I'm tired of you sitting in the wings, man, on the sidelines, telling people what they need to solve. I'm really getting to the point where I'm tired of hearing you talk about what the solution should be. First, you have to identify the problem. And if you don't want to be here, man, get the fuck off of here. Unsubscribe to my shit and get your raggedy ass somewhere else. I'm not bullshitting with niggas no more. Don't get on my motherfucking chat talking a whole bunch of shit. If you don't want to be here, get the fuck out of here, nigga. That's what I'm telling you. Because I'm tired of hearing this bullshit, man. You don't like it here? Get the fuck off of here, nigga. You got the solutions, you provide some. That's what you need to be doing then. Or get the fuck off of my channel, nigga. I'm tired of hearing this coon shit, bruh. If you don't like it here, get the fuck out of here, man. I mean that shit too, bruh. If you keep coming with that bullshit, man, I'm kicking you off my shit for good. You'll never be in this motherfucker unless you come with another handle. I'm tired of hearing this punk ass shit. Because I'm trying to help people, man, become aware of what's going on. And all I'm getting is the same bullshit. We trying to make something happen here, man. I got some solutions. But let me at least get to what I'm trying to talk about first. We can't even do that without all these critical niggas all up in the mix. And they have nothing positive to contribute other than telling us what to do. You don't like what's being said here? Get the fuck on, man. You're not encouraging solutions, bruh. You're not. You telling me what you tired about, bruh. You telling me what you tired about. I'm not about to do that, bruh. I'm not doing that, man. You got brothers all over coming up with solutions. We're trying to develop solutions. I said one of the things you need to do is to write the big six, and ask, where are our voices? That's something you could do. That's something black men in the manosphere can do. That's one solution I just proposed. Maybe you didn't hear it. Maybe you didn't want to hear it. Because maybe you were only looking to hear what you wanted to hear. Maybe you wanted to have the same kind of acerbic criticism as opposed to listening to what could actually be done in order to try to help ameliorate the condition or to make the situation better. But I'm not going to sit here and take all this lambasting on my channel, man. I'm not about to do that. I don't move like that. I have a low tolerance for bullshit. I do, man. I have a low tolerance for bullshit. And we could talk about, look, my brother, the Geek Underground, he basically says we can develop our own media. And that's happening here on the YouTube. That's happening here on the YouTube experience in this world. But you got to understand, this is not enough. At some point, we got to take it up a notch. This has to be, we got to be better than this. Because this is not reaching but us. You got Brittany Cooper on MSNBC, CBS, ABC. These people are able to impact the world because they have a machine behind them. The big six. These people are talking to the world. We're talking to who? At the most, what? 15, 30,000 people watching the videos? That's not enough, man. We need more people who understand our position. And it just so happens that certain groups of people are being funded. We're being unfunded, defunded. Our position is not being exposed to the world, and it needs to be exposed. I don't want to see what Brittany Cooper has to say about black male death. I don't want to see that. I want to see what Dr. Johnson has to say. I think he would be a better analyst, a better talking head than Brittany Cooper when it comes to representing what's going on with black men. Hey, bro, look, I don't have a problem with hearing somebody say something, man, but I'm not going to listen to somebody say the same thing every time they get on my show, bro. And I don't, look, I'm a human being, but I have a low tolerance for bullshit. I do. You got to come up with the solutions. Don't put the onus on me. Don't come to me asking me to give you the solution. I'm telling you what the problem is. We're supposed to be brainstorming, coming up with the solutions together. I don't need to hear a whole bunch of shit about what I'm not doing and how I need to figure it out for 40 million Negroes. You help figure it out. You help provide some solutions. I ain't even been done with my whole show yet before I get you coming in. Well, what's the solution? I'm tired of brothers crying. What you gonna do, man? I asked you the last time. I even left the link for you to get on here. You tell me what you doing, bro. What you doing? What are you doing? What have you done? That's what I'm interested in. You tell me what you have done. I need to know what you have done in order to make a change, to provide a solution. Because criticizing a criticism is not a solution to the criticism. Now, is it? Me being a person who's defining a problem is not helping. Right? That's what you're saying, right? So if that's not helping, well, then help me do it better then. What am I supposed to be doing? Why ain't you helping to provide the solutions then? That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like look, I'm a dude, man. I'm a nigga from the street, man. Like if a nigga keep coming to me pressing me with some bullshit, I'm gonna be like, nigga, beat it, man. Or else I'm gonna fuck you up or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't sit back and take a lot of bullshit from dudes. I've never done that, man. I ain't never been that type of dude, bro. Anybody that knows me knows, bro. Why you pressing me, dog? Why you fucking with me? And then the next thing you know, bip, bop, 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 and then it's a wrap. Bruh, I'm flipping out because you coming back with the same bullshit, bro. Come with a solution, bruh. That's what I want you to do. Don't criticize me no more on my channel. That's what I'm telling you right now. You come with solutions as I tell you what the problem is. Otherwise, kick rocks. That's what I'm saying. And I'm a human being. I get emotional. I get emotional. I'm not about to play this old, I'm just so, I'm just so much of a man. I'm exactly, man, cut all the rational bullshit. You said you was tired. You felt some sort of way about me explaining the problem. So anyway, man, let me get back to the lecture at hand, man. The whole point is the media is portraying us negatively, man. And we need to have a response for it and to it. Now, I already got some solutions in the works, but I'm not going to reveal to you exactly what they are right this moment. But trust and believe we are developing solutions while you criticizing with some criticism. So anyway, you have to know what the problem is before you can solve the problem also. So having said that, man, look, we already talked about it. There is a causal link between the media and people's attitudes. We already said it. And in general, what you get is this antagonism towards black males. You get these exaggerated views of, expectations of, and tolerance for race-based socioeconomic disparities. You get exaggerated views about criminality and violence. You get a lack of identification or sympathy for black men. We get reduced attention to structural and other big picture factors. We don't get public support. All we get is punitive approaches to our problems. That's what the 94 crime bill was, a punitive approach. So as we get more and more punitive approaches, less and less sympathy or empathy, more imagery related to our criminality and the fact that we're violent, no attention to structural or big picture scenarios that create the conditions for whatever violence does exist, right? You get this antagonism towards black men. And then what often happens when people perceive black men in the media, they don't, like 50 Cent said this a while ago, namely that people, when they view the media, they take the media as a representation of reality. They don't even know what the reality is in the black neighborhood. All they got is a representation that they see on the media. Somebody watches Power. Somebody watches not only Power, but they may watch The Wire, or they may watch something else, and that gives them an indication or a presentation about what it is that they think the reality of black life is. And it's not an accurate rendition of what black men actually go through. It might be part of it, but it's not the only, it doesn't capture the entirety, the essence of the black experience, the black male experience. So ultimately, what we got to do, what we have to do, we have to have a new way of thinking about black men and a new representation of black men in the media. We have to. So we know the stereotypes. We know what the role models are, the NBA stars, the football players. You know, we already know. We know the negative stereotypes, the thugs, the criminals, the drug dealers, the fool, the step and fetch it black man. So we know that. So what can we do? We already know why these media patterns that you see, why they're distorted in the way that they are. You got producer bias, because the people who are responsible for the content already have distorted views about black men or unconscious biases and stereotypes about black men. You got assumptions about what audiences want to see. So there's some people who say that you can't put a positive image of a black man on the screen and that people will actually buy it. Because they want to see the black male nigger, the drug dealer, the thug, the criminal. Right? Then you don't get input from black men. And you have a few black men in the media, but it's not nearly enough. So how do you begin to improve the problem? Right? How do you begin to improve the problem? So, as the infantry skills dude says, most of the time you look at social scientific literature and you get all of the mapping out of the problems about black men in the media, which is descriptive. It describes, analyzes the way the media works in thought and in behavior. But then what can we do to be prescriptive about it? How can we set out courses of action? How can we include empirical testing such that we might help improve the media? Right? We can include studies about what happens when media representations of black males are fuller, and then show them to people in laboratories so we can see what the effects are. Then we can determine, okay, well, what kind of media patterns can help to make people less biased? Maybe perhaps we can do that. Maybe we can do that. Maybe we can develop studies. But then we would need to have, at the academic level, people who are willing to perform the studies and to utilize the studies in order to impact corporate practices of the big six. That's what would need to happen. That investing in black men is not a bad investment. Not just the investment in the thug, criminal, drug dealing, ball chunking, or ball throwing, ball scoring, black athlete. Maybe there's something else that we can tap into about black male life that will give them, that is the public, a fuller and a more robust notion of who we are. Maybe that could happen. Maybe we need more black men. Maybe we need to educate more black men on what needs to happen. Maybe we could do that. So you need laboratory studies so we can help reduce implicit bias, because that's what the media is. The media creates implicit bias. It creates unconscious bias. But there are challenges to this, because people, man, don't want to look at structural thinking. People in the United States like to look at people as individuals. They don't like to look at structures. They don't like to focus on structures. They like to look at individual behavior and individual outcomes. And then they like to develop moral assessments upon people predicated upon their outcome, as if they know exactly what the input was. Now, I think that that's mistaken for several reasons, but I don't even want to get into the philosophical parameters of that. God may know what people deserve, but people don't, unless they're close to the people whom are deserving. You don't know what a person deserves just by looking at what they have. You don't know how much work or effort they put into it. And that's the only way you can measure You can only measure dessert by effort. But we don't have the capacity to measure effort. That's why we measure, that's why we reward merit, what people are actually able to do. We don't look at the guy and determine, well, how many laps did he do? How long, how hard did he study, or how long did he train? We only look at the outcome. And some people are more talented than other people. Some people can sing, never had a someone train them. Some people can play the piano better than other people, and it's just natural. So we're going to have a way. We have to have a means by which to have an impact and an influence over these big six. We have to have a slander campaign. If they're going to slander us, we have to slander them and talk about their poor record at the way that we're being portrayed in the media. If they're going to continue to allow our slander and participate in our misrepresentation, then we need to talk to them and tell them we have a problem with our misrepresentation. That's what we need to do. But see, the problem is we think that we can do this, like we can change the way that we're perceived in the public. But when you got six major companies that are worth billions of dollars, how is it possible for you to recreate the space, the unconscious space, the intellectual space in which you're perceived, the cognitive space? If the cognitive space is owned by six companies and they feel like they can make money off of lambasting you and your imagery, what can you do to change or have an impact on that kind of inertia? And look, he says we need our Gamer G. We need our own JDL or ADL for black people, by black people, where we can clap hard when they portray us in a bad way. Yeah, but okay, so that's what we're trying to do. In the manosphere, I feel like we're trying to develop our own ADL. I said this earlier today too. I said it on Facebook. I said, and I think I might have said it earlier in this show. But have you ever heard, after the Holocaust, a group of Jewish women telling Jewish men who are straight that they're the Nazis of Jewish people? Have you ever heard such foolery in your entire life? Have you ever heard anything like that? That Jewish people, straight Jewish men, are the Nazis of Jewish people. You ever heard anything like that? To even think about it is absurd. But we got it here. It's happening to us. And it's absolutely ridiculous. But we don't do anything about it. The first thing you got to do is you got to speak about it. You got to say something. A lot of black men sit with their tongues in their mouths and they say nothing. They don't say a word. It doesn't take a lot of effort to write a message to one of the big six and to tell them, look, we are tired. As black men, I'm a black man. I'm tired of seeing this negative imagery in your media. We're tired of seeing it. And if you continue to do what you're doing, we're going to file a class action lawsuit against you. How about that? For the defamation of our character over the past how many years? Because we can draw a direct parallel, a link to the way in which the media is creating negative perceptions about who we are. And therefore, that is causing us to die. So the way you portray us has an impact over our life or death. We could do that. But I'm gonna go eventually. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to go into each one of these companies. I can't do it back to back to back to back to back. Maybe next Monday I'll come back and I'll have a conversation with y'all about, excuse me, about Comcast. Because Comcast is NBC, Universal Pictures, and Focus Features. Then the next Monday, I might come back and talk about News Corp, which is Fox. You got the Wall Street Journal, then you got the New York Post. Then I'll come back in and have a conversation about Disney the week after that, about ABC, ESPN, and Pixar. Then I could talk about Viacom, MTV, Nickelodeon, and Paramount Pictures. Then I could talk about Time Warner, CNN, HBO, and Time. Then I could talk about CBS, right, which of course is CBS, Showtime, and Smithsonian channels, amongst other kinds of channels. But the problem is the media controls the narrative, and they're freezing us out. They're keeping us out, and we need to force our way in. We need to force our way in. So all I want to do is to help people understand what the media is doing. And after that, we can begin to form a petition and to require our presence and to have some sort of flexibility such that we can begin to have our issues at the forefront when it comes down to the events that have the deepest impact on our lives. There's no reason why black men should be frozen out of having conversations about their own lives. There's no reason. And look, DA says, whisper, that truth, the elites only run the perception of us. They actually ran us. We would be, what do you say? We would be conforming, not issuing counter narratives like the brothers GG, BGS, Tiasan Johnson, and TJ Curry. They do run the perception of us because the perception of us makes a lot of cash. But like black men are the ones who are watching the media. We're investing in the media. They're investing. We're investing, is what I mean to say. We're investing in this negative portrayal of ourselves. Don't we go watch these movies? Don't we stream these television shows? Don't we watch them on YouTube again and again and again? Like, and if you got kids and you black, come on, let's keep it 100. So ultimately, man, I'm telling you, BJ, man, BGS, man, if you see a troll, man, give them the axe. Cut them off. Cut their water off. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm not dealing with no more distractions because I'm trying to actually work on developing solutions. And BGS, man, we talked earlier today. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag about what we talked today about because I believe you got to come with. You have to maintain some elements of surprise. You understand what I'm saying? But don't think that we just sitting here complaining and we have no vision. That's just the most ignorant shit in the world. Why do you think a group of scholars would sit back with no plan for any progress at all? It's ridiculous. Look, BGS says the gynocracy has their eyes on. Of course they do. It's their job as overseers. That's the job as overseers. But we don't care about that, man. Look, you can watch all you want to watch. If anybody's got something to say, step on up. Cause I'm not about to play games with guys no more, man. If you got something to say it to me. Talk to me. And be constructive when you have the conversation. Don't come to me with a whole bunch of bullshit. Because I don't move like that, man. I'm toxic. I told you. I come with masculine energy. I shut shit down. And you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it emotions, whatever. I really don't give a shit. Because I have a low tolerance for bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's like you coming on my block starting a whole bunch of commotion and you starting a whole bunch of, ignorance. I'm going to dismiss you. So we need to get control over the media. All of this negative imagery, but everybody who's tried, people who try, guess what ends up happening to them? You know what happened to Bill Cosby. You see what happened to Byron Allen. You see what happened to all these guys who are trying to come in and develop a means by which to ensure that black men are portrayed more positively in the media. And then guess what ends up happening to them? They either someone tries to freeze them out, edge them out, or they get defamation of character. People try to look at what the person has done before and then try to find a way to discredit them and then create social death for them. But not all of us have tarnished records. So if you got something to say, come on in and say it. But ultimately, man, what we need to do, we need to start boycotting, man. We need to start boycotting these people. And we need to start telling them what we do not like. We need to tell them what we don't like, what we disapprove of. So every week until, I guess, what's the day? It's October 19th. So until we get to, let me see. So that's October. So all of November, maybe up until like the early part of December, I'll be doing this on Monday. We'll be talking about the media, and we'll be talking about the various companies and specifically what shows they have that have a negative presentation of black men in them, so that we can develop a campaign to boycott them. Because we need to do something. Just sitting back on our laurels, sitting on our hands, is not going to work anymore. Thank you for us, Windu. I appreciate that, my brother. You always been a good supportive brother, man. I appreciate it. And look, let me just say this, man. Right now, I'm a black man on fire right now. So you remember that song from The Message with Melly Mel? That's what I am right now. Don't push me, man. I'm close to the edge. For real, real. So don't push me right now. Don't play with me. Don't press me. Don't come to my channel. I told you I'm toxic. I already let you know that. I have zero tolerance for bullshit. I'm Mr. Pop It Off. That's what I do, man. If you don't fuck with me, I will not fuck with you. If you come to me with positivity and you got positive energy, I'm going to throw that back at you. If you come to me with negative energy, I'm coming at you sideways. That's just how I am. And you know what? I think that's something that's lost with us because all we want to do is have rational arguments and shit. We don't want to get our hands dirty and knuckle up. That's what black men in the manosphere, I ain't going to say all of y'all afraid of, but it seems like a whole bunch of motherfuckers in this space want to hold back and have a whole bunch of goddamn conversations again and again and again and to have a whole bunch of fucking conversations. I am action. I'm like Big Daddy Kane. I'm so full of action, my name should be a verb. I'm ready to get it started. Thank you, Mr. Heat. I appreciate the contribution, my brother. I appreciate it. I really do. I really appreciate it. And look, while you're sleeping, I want to also give a shout out to my brother Vernon King. Thank you so much, sir. And I want to give you a shout out to Nunu. Thank y'all. Bing, 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 bing. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all. And look, I don't care. You know, you can watch me, whatever. I don't care. You can look at my channel, but I'm gonna be unapologetic. I don't care. I'm gonna let people know what's going down. In my mind, I don't have time for the bullshit, bro. I'm past that. I let motherfuckers have it. I let them have it in the real world, not just on YouTube, bro. Trust me. I'm not a YouTube guy for real, man. I really am not. Anybody that really knows me knows I'm not no fucking TV guy, man. Like, I'm not a media guy. I don't do shit like that. What's up? What's up, Kendra? What's cracking like? I ain't seen you in these neck of the woods in a minute. Thank you, my brother Julius. Appreciate that. Julius Ferguson. So look, what we need to do is we need to find out what these people are doing in these big six companies, and we need to express our disapproval. Just like Ice Cube. Like, say, for example, you got a person like Ice Cube, and they say, look, we don't like this show, that show, that show, or this show. We need better shows. Because those shows right there don't speak to our interests. I saw Black Man Ice Cube arguing with Cuomo, and then I saw him on the Roland Martin show. And you know what was interesting about it? Because this is how the media. You know how Roland Martin now is. I know he's definitely a Democratic plant. He works for the Democratic Party. He's on the Democratic plantation. Bottom line. Because you're going to bring in Alicia Garza to have a conversation with Ice Cube, and then to try to say, well, basically, ultimately, that he's being a traitor, he's being used, he's being manipulated because he didn't follow the path established by BLM, who, for the most part, as far as I'm concerned, we still don't know where the money from BLM went. Then not only do we not know where the money from BLM went, we can pretty much surmise that the money went to the Democratic Party to promote Democratic candidates because these people are acting as lobbyists to the Democratic Party. They're funneling money over black male death in order to push a feminist agenda, man. That's my guess about what all is happening. And it seems to be working like a charm. And nobody's saying nothing about it. I mean, everywhere you look and everywhere you turn, you see people profiting off of black male death. Except for black men. And then we don't even have the capacity to talk about it in the media. That's a problem. But we got a solution to that problem. BGS, they don't know, man. They don't know we got a plan to deal with that. But all I'm asking you is, when we come to you and tell you what our plan is, we don't want to hear, oh man, that ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna pop off. But we already got a plan. Why you bullshitting? Just because you don't know what the plan is, doesn't mean we don't have a plan. Bottom line. Just because they don't know what the plan is don't mean there's not a plan. And then also, all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, man, it is unjust. It's unjust for the media to continuously portray us in the way that it is. And then for us, it's naivety to think that it's going to change without having without having a response to it. There's no way in the world, in my viewpoint, I'm just saying, there is no viewpoint that should be off limits to men as it pertains to issues that have the most impact on the lives of men. There's no way that should take place. Not at all. So you mean to tell me the three lesbian women, two lesbian women, one married to a white man, another one married to a white trans man, they have more to say about black male death? They're in a better position to explain, to detail, to chronicle, to detail the nuances about our deaths than we do. You see black men coming up and speaking out vociferously about black trans issues. I mean, you got a few men who do it. You got Mark Lamont Hill. But I'm saying, like, why can't we speak about our own issues? Why is everybody profiting off of our death except for us? We shouldn't even be profiting on our death as much as refocusing, rechanneling the conversation such that we can begin to tackle the problems related to our death. Because nobody, man, black men, we have a right to live a full and a robust life just like anybody else. And we're not the white people or black people. I'm tired of hearing that shit. And the fact that that is able to be put in the media and the root is where that message came from. Very Smart Brothers is basically endorsed by the root. The very fact that they can put that message out there and it goes unchallenged is fucking ridiculous. And we don't have a concerted response to it. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's no way, and I'm telling you, there is no way in the world that you are to be able to have a group of black people to argue that people who have been through 400 plus years of violence, slavery, Jim Crow, rape, abuse, confinement, disenfranchisement, there is no way in the world that the words the white people or black people should be coming out of anybody's black mouth at all. Nobody should be saying those words. Not a black gay person, not a black trans person, not a black woman. Nobody should be saying that shit. No one. And I said it. There's no way in hell you would hear a group of Jewish women telling the world, proclaiming to the world after the Holocaust that Jewish men are the Nazis of Jewish people. That straight Jewish men are the Nazis of Jewish people. You will never hear that shit. But you hear black women who are feminists, who are in the Democratic Party, or who are caping hard for the Democrats, super hard. People who put us in prison. Our demographic in prison. Unapologetically. Unapologetically. And then we supposed to just go vote for them because, or whatever, the lesser of two evils. Because what? Trump's a racist? We already, shit, if Trump's the racist, and these people are not racist, shit, what's the good? I mean, what's the difference between racism? I'd hate to see, I mean, if the idea is that Biden is not racist and that Trump is, like, black men's lives are not going to be impacted or affected any differently. We already have said, and I'll say it again, you know the left is going too far when black men don't want to have shit to do with it. Straight black men are feeling alienated in their own party. They can't speak to their own issues. They're being told they need to be quiet. They're being told they need to be decentered. And then all we supposed to do is just follow what these women say. And then when we say, well, we got our mind of our own, we got our own mind, we have our own way of thinking about issues. I don't quite agree with what it is you're saying and the way you're presenting me and my motives and what I think and how I feel about specific issues. And then the next thing you hear is, well, you're homophobic, you're patriarchal, sexist, and you're trying to be like white men. That's the only response y'all got? Is that if we don't do what you say, we don't follow your line, we don't think the way you think about a whole host of issues, the only thing you can do is say we're misogynistic, patriarchal, sexist, homophobic, and we're trying to be like white guys? Let me just say this to women out there. Just so y'all know it. I don't have a problem with women. Especially women that don't fucking complain all the time and talk about how hard they got it all the time and talk about how fucked up it is all the time for them specifically, in contradistinction to the men that they grew up with. You think it ain't hard for your fathers? You think it ain't hard for your brothers? You think it's not hard for your sons? This abstraction, one group apart from another, and the engagement in identity politics, it's abstraction. It's too much abstraction. At some time and at some point, you have to understand you don't exist as a monad in the world. What you do has an impact on black men's lives, and what black men do has an impact on your lives. This, to me, is academic. It just makes sense to me. Like, say, for example, black women are given the power over me. Some black woman fucks with me, gets me in trouble with the law. Now, guess what happens? I don't have the capacity to be able to contribute substantively to the children that I have, which may just so happen to be girls. So while you toe the ideological line, trying to look out for yourself, then guess what ends up happening? You end up inadvertently fucking over the lives of girls because black men's lives are intricately and intimately connected with that of black girls. Duh. Let me give Black Pill Ned a shout out. Look, man, I didn't expect to go this deep into this conversation tonight. But you know what? I really do love a good verbal lashing on a motherfucker though every now and then. I don't mind doing it. Look, Black Pill says there are the same amount of black men in prison as there are total women in incarceration. Biden and Harris helped contribute to those numbers. No fucking joke. Exactly. Man, we tired of getting killed, and then people making money off us getting killed, and then they're gonna throw back images to us about how fucked up we are. Man, look, I'm not taking that anymore, man. I just can't take it anymore. I'm not listening to, if I see that being said by anybody at any moment, at any place, and at any time, I'm going off. It just is what it is. I'm not taking it anymore, man. I cannot stand to hear that. And you should do the same. If you just imagine if somebody called you a nigger, would you say something then? Or would you just sit back and be like, oh, well, that's kind of harmless? No. Somebody calls you a nigger, you're going to respond with a knee-jerk reaction and say, oh, no. No. You're not going to get that off. It's the same way with this. You're not going to be able to get that off. You're not going to get it off that we're the white people or black people. No, you ain't getting that off no more. You better come with something else other than that, because we're not on that right now. We no longer have tolerance for that. Gold Professor, I want to give you a salute, my brother. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate your donation, sir. I really do. You see, and look, let me just say this. All of this is coming from, I told you, I've been telling you all the time. We already know the seeds of all of this. The seeds of all of it, I told you, look, I told you what their playbook is. Anytime you engage with these people, you know exactly what they're going to say. They're going to say, you're sexist. They can't call you racist because you're black. So they can't say that. So all they can say is you're sexist, that you're homophobic, and that you want to be like white men and use capitalism to do so. That's all they have. They have nothing more than that. I mean, it's the Combahee River Collective. And look, it was cool at the time, I guess. I mean, I don't think it was cool at the time because they knew that this politics would be divisive. But then they're calling us divisive after saying that they knew they were going to be divisive. How can you call us divisive when you knew that this shit was going to be divisive when you initiated it? See, I read the document. Ain't none of you, I dare a motherfucking feminist to come here. I dare one. Come speak to me. I dare one. I'm inviting you right now. Any moment you feel like it. Thank you for becoming a new member too, Gold Professor. I really appreciate it. I really do, man. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate that, my brother, you know. I really do, man. I'm still getting used to using these damn buttons, man, and giving fanfare and letting people know that I appreciate them. But I really do appreciate that, my brother. I really and truly do. Every time you get a new member, man, it's like gold, baby. Thank you, sir. So, DH, we got another member, man. Look here, man. Appreciate it, DH. Let me give my brother some fanfare here, man. Again. See, what I said before is, man, look, let me just say this, man. Right now, I'm going to tell you what we got. We got too many yes men out here. We got too many yes men out here. Too many men who don't say anything, who just go along to get along. And I said this the other day. Look, I don't really have a problem with men who have good ladies in their lives and who are cooperating with their men. And there's always going to be disagreements. But like the vitriol being spit out here now, man, I couldn't even, man, like it's unimaginable what these kids are dealing with. And this has all been caused by a certain contingent of black people who've been able to finagle this kind of thinking into the academia. And after the academia, now it comes out into popular culture. But our turn is, you might got now, but we got next. Trust that. Because when we start slapping you with these facts and we come with the media we have, you're not going to be able to maintain composure. You already can't maintain composure right now. Notice that what they don't do is they don't engage in conversations. All they do is, I'm telling you, the only thing they have, they're going to call you sexist. They're going to call you homophobic, and they're going to say you're trying to imitate white men. Bottom line, that's all they have. And if they don't have that, then they're going to say, well, you're a rapist and you abuse women by beating them up or some shit like that. Now, I done went over all of this, man. Like I swear to God, there's nothing new that they have. There's nothing else. There's nothing more that they have in their arsenal. They have nothing more. I mean it. It's like you're playing with a group of people who only have 5 plays. They don't have but 5 plays, man. They got the homophobic card, they have the sexist card, and then they got the class card that you're trying to imitate white men. Although, when you look at it, first of all, this is what you got to be aware of. Black men are statistically insignificant in the voting preferences as it relates to Democrats and Republicans. So what's the fucking statistical difference between 90% of black women voting for the fucking Democratic Party and 83 black men voting for the fucking Democratic Party? What's the statistical difference? Then you got the biggest black woman, and you notice they can attack her, but they can't really attack her like that, even though they try. The black girl who always is talking about Republicans and defending Trump. You know who I'm talking about. They can't come at her with the motherfucking the feminist shit though, because she's a black woman. You understand what I'm saying? I forget that woman's name. I can't remember her name for a damn thing in my life, man. Who is that woman, man? Somebody please tell me who that lady's name is. She a young black girl, man. Not Diamond and Silk. I talk about her all the time. I just cannot remember her now, man. Yeah, Candace Owens. That's her. They can't say shit about Candace Owens. Because she got the mouthpiece. She can speak real slick. And then when they come to her, she comes with facts. And the facts are, let's just be honest. The black family is fucked up, man. What you think you can abstract yourselves away from black men and then you're going to have a fucking utopia? You're going to transcend blackness by continuously browbeating black men. It's fucking ridiculous. Look at my brother. My brother got something to say. He wanted to be seen. He says, if more sword form 1, social dominance order states that subordinate male classification greater than black plus female intersectionalist double negative. Osu. I feel you, brother. I feel you. I feel you. You know, that's one thing we got to work on. And tell them, look, man, the main problem, and look, when it comes to that intersectionality, black women are going to say they're invisible. That's the point of intersectionality, that they're not seen, that they're missing in the gaps somewhere, because what they're experiencing is not commonplace. But I would then respond, what would you rather be in enemy territory? Would you rather be visible or invisible in enemy territory? I mean, it's just a simple fucking question. You know, it doesn't take a lot. Like a lot of times we're over intellectualizing. This shit doesn't take a lot of. It doesn't take a lot of understanding to understand this. It doesn't take a great deal of comprehension to discern this. Would you rather be visible or invisible while you're the fucking in enemy territory? I would rather be fucking invisible when I'm in enemy territory. But they want to be visible. They want to be seen. That's narcissism to me. It's fucking retarded, as far as I'm concerned. You just want to be seen so bad. I gotta be seen. I don't want to be seen. Fuck that shit. Look. That's why you don't see me now. I don't need to be seen. It ain't that I'm scared, because trust me, I'm not a scary fella. Not really a scary guy. But you got to think, what would you rather be in enemy territory, seen or unseen? Oh, I want to be seen. I need to be seen more. Put me in the front, please. I need more people to see me. What type of dumb shit is this? Then while you being seen less, then you want to draw attention to how fucked up the people who are seen and who are subjected to the most violence. I guess you're giving an excuse for more violence to come their way, more incarceration to come their way, more disenfranchisement to come their way. Tell me how that shit makes sense to your father, your brother, and your sons. Explain it, because I'm having a difficult motherfucking time understanding it. Then to gay people, when the last time you seen a gay dude, man, like for real, get into it with another gay dude? I mean, like a black man, like call out somebody gay and attack him or fight him or punch him or slap him or do anything to him. Who? When you seen that shit? I'm just saying, like, I don't even come into contact with people and know gay people that much to hate them. Like, why would I hate somebody gay? Or be afraid of somebody gay? For what? This shit just makes no sense to me. I got more to fear than a heterosexual motherfucker than I do, you know what I'm saying? A brother on brother conflict. Ain't no dudes coming at y'all like that. They're gonna be like, oh, he's gay. Fuck him, let him go. For real. You get more headbutting against heterosexual black men in competition with each other. How many? I mean, just be honest. Who the fuck is going to engage a gay guy because he's gay? For what? This is the shit that just makes no sense to me. Like, why? Well, I was a kid and I got made fun of for being gay. Okay, well, so motherfuckers get at tables, at lunch, at breakfast, all over America, and they joan on each other and play the dozens and shit. You got a whole Pride Month and shit now. You got a whole fucking movement where you're out in front being you flamboyantly and shit. Nobody's stopping you from getting jobs. Black men definitely don't have the ability to stop you getting jobs. I'm just tired of all these motherfucking charges being issued our way. So the gay people want to charge us, black gay people, black women, and who else? Who else is trying to come out and say we trying to be white men? But if you look at the data, black men are doing just what black women are doing in relation to voting for the Democratic Party. When it comes to opinions about black women's liberation and whether or not they should be able to hold the same positions as black men or whatever or other men, black men are the most progressive demographic. But yet we get told that we're the white people or black people. I don't mind being the bad dude, man. I'm just tired of hearing all this bullshit. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. And anytime I hear it, I'm gonna call a motherfucker out on it. I don't care where I am. I could be in a hospital and in a room, somebody says some shit negative about a man somewhere. I'm gonna be like, who is you talking about? Oh, that's your granny on the deathbed? Well, granny, you need to change your opinion or you're going straight to hell. Man. And look, bro, Genius say, look, they love black gay men because they're laughing stock. No, you know why they love black gay men? They love black gay men because black gay men value womanhood. In our hood, in our community, black gay men who are white they don't like women. I mean, for real. We got the only gay motherfuckers that love women. I'm just keeping it 100. Like, notice, look at white gay dudes and then go see if they like fawning all over women and shit. They like, man, fuck, we don't like these bitches. That's why we like men. They think that they're too messy, too emotional, too fucking catty, the whole nine. They don't even fuck with them. But on our end, oh, they'll team up with them motherfuckers because I guess, it's all in the gay gang with them. You know. And I can, it might have felt like, look, I got a frat brother, man, Rustin Bayard, man, gay as a motherfucker, right? One of the leaders of the civil rights movement, but he didn't get the opportunity to be at the front of the movement. But shit, Jesse Jackson wasn't at the front of the motherfucker either. The most articulate, eloquent, and the most charismatic motherfucker was at the front. It is what it is. Look, DA says, I want to do a research project to pinpoint when empiricism went wholly out of fashion with us. We used to be ones, we used to be ones needing proof. Okay, we used to be ones needing proof for things. Look, man, I don't even want to really get into empiricism. I'm trying to, this is the sad shit to me, right? And then I'm about to leave out of here. I'm about to leave out of here after this. I'm doing a series of videos, man, called The Philosophy of Science, right? Now, if I talk about some whole shit and say whole phases or lifestyle commitments, then like I get 5,000, there are 4,000 views. I do a video on the philosophy of science, in which I'm about to delve into deep analysis of what empiricism actually entails, when empiricism was developed, who developed the ideology behind it. Nobody's watching that shit. Everybody wants to watch what's going on with the whole phase shit, but they don't want to watch what's going on with science, which would help you to be able to develop better arguments and interpret what's going on in the social world better. But I'm digressing, man. I'm about to get up off here, man. I didn't even expect to be here. I only wanted to be here an hour and 15 minutes. But I really enjoy being back. So I will be here tomorrow. I won't be Wednesday. I'll be watching Dr. Johnson's show. I'll be back Thursday and Friday, as I always do. And it be what it be. But look, I love y'all, man. I argue with y'all sometimes. But trust me, we're not just sitting here talking. Look, I'm not, anybody that knows me knows I'm the type of guy, man, if you put a challenge in front of me, I'm going to rise to the occasion. I've always done that. Somebody said, man, you can't make a record. I'll go make a record. Somebody says, you can't do that. Watch me do it. And if I don't succeed in doing it, at least I will have gained knowledge on how to do it better the next time I attempt to do it. I like to get shit done. Don't think that I'm sitting here resting on my laurels and all I'm doing is thinking philosophically. No, I got some things that are in the wings. And yes, I'm talking to you here. But we need to reclaim our image. Anybody who's able to continuously present your image without your influence, that's oppression. It's not righteous. Look, Bro Junior said you must be a Virgo. No, I am not. That I am not. But look, I dare, like that's why look, anyway, I put this shit up here, man. I dare any of you motherfuckers who are feminists, if you ever watch this shit, I dare you to get on this motherfucking channel and have a conversation. I dare you. I don't give a fuck if you Kimberly Crenshaw. I don't give a fuck if you Brittany Cooper. I don't give a fuck if you Bell Hooks. I don't care who you are. I dare you to get your ass and have a conversation. Because y'all been kicking the can down the road for a long time. Unwilling to have engagement and conversations outside of the context of your own echo chambers. You're going to be forced into a conversation sooner or later. You may as well have it where you can actually engage in conversation. Man, dude, I'm a Gemini, man. You better ask somebody. With that note, man, I'm out this joint, man. And look, that's why you know I'm the G with the PhD. I can go high or low. I always been privy to the poem If by Roger Kipling. I don't talk too wise, if you notice that about me. I don't look too good, nor do I talk too wise, but I talk wise enough. So having said that, man, protagonist, what dad are you talking about, man? But I dare y'all to come holler at me. Come to the channel. Because I know your literature. I know it. I've read it. I know epistemology, standpoint epistemology. I know your critiques of science. I know all the ethical theories you could possibly present to me: deontology, utilitarianism, virtue ethics from a variety of traditions. Come debate. I know the social scientific literature on domestic violence and sexual assault and abuse. Why aren't you having this conversation? Plus, I know social and political philosophy. I can talk to you about any kind of tradition you want to talk about. But y'all don't want to have the conversation, though. They don't want to have the conversation. They keep trying to kick the can down the road because they feel like they got now. They don't want that. They don't want that, nameless. They don't want that. So anyway, man, y'all be good, man. I'm out of here, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
I know you player haters gon' hate, cause I'm at the finish line and I'm in the first place. I'm a winner, and I know I'll never lose, cause I'm way too ahead of you, dude. I know you player haters gon' hate, cause I'm at the finish line and I'm in the first place. I'm a winner, and I know I'll never lose, cause I'm way too ahead of you, dude. I'm trying to. Okay, here I go. Guaranteed to be the leader of the race, come in first place. Put the pedal to the metal, let it burn, then I blow up in your face for the boom of the big bass. Turn around, nigga, pop face. Nigga, turn up the track, leave your hook with a burnt face. Fuck a nigga, cause he gon' hate. Put some pippin' in his cup, set him up for the date rate. I go, I blaze, throw grenades in the party till I'm clearing out the whole place. Who got that rock money loan? You can hear it in my tone that I own, you don't know me. Better run, nigga, bustle like a gun. Ain't a motherfucker nigga that can hold me. I'm tired of niggas suckin', find your bitch so she can blow me. Ain't nobody never changed like a young boy, many bomb boys, and he hit like a donkey. And he roll with a convoy with them hot toys. If you really wanna get it jumpin'. I blow that monkey, that hairy back green gorilla. Take it through the nose, put it on my mind, I'm a beast like Michael Jackson Thriller. Your boys are trippin', I ain't hearing till you're speaking something. Don't do too much because your pussies always do it for me. Yeah, get it good, get it like I should. All the hating motherfuckers better keep it coming. Put them all in a bar, throw a bomb in that